and ready for the nodding phase of it.
They're addicting, aren't they, Dana?
No, I wrote back to you and I said, there's nothing addicting about these.
Plus, now you have a little granddaughter.
Well, actually, I have two granddaughters and I have made two for them. So
Oh,
I told Flo that I was going to join in just because, number one, I wanted to thank Flo personally for leading us in this and this activity of the Action and Advocacy Committee. And I just think it's going to be wonderful. But I also wanted to show you the one that I made, because I don't know if I've shown you this, Lillian, but can you see?
How cute.
Oh, isn't that cute?
But
That's
look what
so
it
wonderful.
What does it say?
It says
Strong.
Oh,
Stronger together.
stronger together. And on the back side is all of these little kids of every ethnicity you could possibly imagine.
I love that one.
And when I saw the Stronger Together, I thought, what did they do? Did they make that for WRJ? And so, actually, our sisterhood just had a Zoom and we did these, and we are donating ours to, it's actually, my husband's on a phone call right now because they're having a Zoom meeting. It's called Tunadito, and it started out as a children's hospice, and it has grown into a grief and support system for children and their families for losing somebody in their family. It might be a grandparent, a brother, sister, mother, father, or a child. And they're, of course, not meeting in person right now, but my husband's a part of one of the support groups. So,
Dana, that's fabulous.
That's really wonderful. We hope you take a picture of the sisterhood donating to them and then write that little story on.
Well, I have taken some pictures and we're going to take more, but we will definitely write it up, whether all of us get in the picture or just a story. So I definitely will.
Because, well, and a picture of the
Stronger Together. I mean,
yes, absolutely.
Are we rock stars or what?
I want to know where you found those kids.
Oh, they were at Joann's.
They were at Joann's.
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I ordered mine online. So I don't know if they have them in the store, but I just ordered it online.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, ladies. Have fun tonight. And we will look forward to seeing everybody on another Zoom and especially at convention.
Okay. Thank you, Dana.
Thanks, Dana. Thanks for stopping by. Okay.
Well, look at that. I love it. Bye.
Bye.
Let's get started. My name is Flo Cone. I'm from Temple Sinai in Glendale, California. And I will be your presenter for today. Working with me, Lillian and Lori will be handling the tech issues and answering your questions and trying to keep me on path and doing all the follow-up. And by the way, something I want to just plant a seed. We're going to be looking for people to be doing tech support for convention. And if you can handle a chat box or know a little bit about Zoom, we'd love to have you volunteer to be a tech person or facilitator for one of the sessions at convention. And we'll talk more about that later. Okay, well, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here tonight to talk about no-sew fleece blankets. As Dana just said, our district convention is coming up in less than 2 months. It's October 24th and 25th. It was supposed to have been at a beautiful airport next to the beautiful hotel next to the John Wayne Airport in Newport Beach, but now it's on Zoom and it'll still be wonderful. And at every WRJ event, we always have some sort of mitzvah project that we do. And this year, the advocacy committee decided to make no-sew blankets. They were originally going to go to some hospitals in Newport Beach, but now, and I think it's almost a little better, You get to choose where you want them to go. And there's going to be a list of agencies available to you at the end of this program. All right, let's start. You can do this. That's the first thing I want to tell you. It is easy, it is fun, it can be done in the afternoon.
Flo, before we go, do you want me to tell them
Oh,
a
I'm
little bit
sorry.
about the
Yes.
technology?
Yes.
All right.
Everything, people.
No problem. So I just want to remind you, Flo has an awesome setup at her home. So if you click on speaker view on the top right, it may be say gallery now. So I recommend clicking on speaker view. And then also under view options on the top right, you can click side by side and adjust your view. So you can have Flo on one side and the slideshow on the other, and you can make it bigger or smaller, whichever you want to see more of. Also, please stay muted. If you have a question, please just click chat. Lillian and I will be monitoring the chat. We'll also are recording this and posting on Yammer. Finally, if you want to raise your hand, click participants. It's on the bottom. And you can raise your hand, answer yes or no, say you're going to get a cup of coffee, and all those other things. So we're glad you're here.
Thank you. Lillian, anything to add?
No, I think that we're ready to learn how to make these.
Okay.
And Lillian, it's showing is it showing for everyone all of the slides?
That's what I'm seeing.
Oh, okay, very weird. Okay, then we will move. We'll change how we're doing this. Okay, thank you.
There we go. Hello, there I am. Going back to it. There are 6 easy steps to making a no-sew fleece blanket. We're going to go through them. We're not all going to do it at the same time because some of them take some time to get it done. But this is a demonstration, and there will be information at the end of this telling you where to find more help if you need it. First slide, please, or second slide. Here are the 6 steps.
Click the bottom on the bottom right. There's a slide. Yes, right there.
Okay.
Okay. All right. 6 steps. You're going to purchase the fabric. You're going to lay it out. You're going to draw lines to show where your fleece is going to go. You're going to cut off the selvage. You're going to tie your fringe together, and you're going to celebrate your accomplishment. Very easy. Let's start with the first one, choosing fabric. Next slide.
Yep, sorry. We're not talking together today. Okay.
No,
They work
it
so
worked
perfectly.
so well at 2 o'clock.
I know, I don't know why.
Okay, can you manually move it over?
I just did. Or are you not seeing that?
If I have it up, if you want me to share mine.
Yeah, please, because I don't know why
Okay.
this isn't working.
Helpful. Thank you, Lori. There we go. Choosing fabric. And there are just so many fabrics to choose from. The fleece is amazing. When you're choosing fabric, and can we see me? When you're choosing fabric, go with something you love. You're going to spend a couple of hours on this project, and it might as well be something you love working with. Lori, can I see my table, please?
Yes. You want me to turn this off?
There we go. Yes, great. Okay. If you're buying fabric by itself and you're choosing your own colors, you want to buy 1.5 yards if you're making your blanket for babies, toddlers, and young children. 1.5 yards, 48 inches. If you're making it for an older child, a teen, an adult, a senior, you want to buy 2-yard lengths. That's 2 yards of each fabric. If you're new to it, start with the 48 inches. It's a lot easier to work with. It's amazing how that extra 1/2 yard multiplied over the whole project can add much more time to it. Now, you want to choose 2 fabrics that will go well together. Here I chose the butterflies in the blues and purples and picked up one of the pinks as the undercoat. Here's a lovely red, white, and blue, and I opted for a very neutral, warm camel to go with it. Love this guy. I could have picked any of these colors to go with it and ended up with the gold because I thought it went well. Now, if you're choosing 2 prints, you want to be careful that the prints will complement one another. And one of the ways to do that is be sure they're of different scale. Scale means the size. See how big these footballs are? That'd be pretty big. If I had something else big and dark on the other side, it wouldn't go together. But instead, the fabric here has a lot more background and it's calmer, it's quieter, and it was easy to work with. So again, if you're 2 prints, one can be larger and one smaller. If you have 2 smaller, it's boring. It's just not nearly as interesting. That's for people who like buying fabric. Now, if you're just starting out, I strongly recommend you get a kit. It's already pre-cut, and kits come in 2 sizes, the 48 inches, as I said, or the 72 inches. They are cut and pre-packaged for you. They've picked colors that go well together. This was a kit, this was a kit, and was it Denise who was able to get a kit on sale or on closeout? I was too. Each of these cost me under $9. Ladies, Joanne just put Blizzard fleece on sale starting today for the next 2 days. It's $3.99 a yard. You can do it online. You don't have to go into the store, and you can arrange to either have it sent to you, and right now shipping is free, or you can have it ready for you to pick up at a nearby store. Besides Joann's, there's also Walmart has a lot, and Amazon.com. When you go to look for it at any of those websites, put in No Sew, S-E-W, fleece blankets, and it'll get you right there. Any questions about fabric selection? Okay, then let's move along. Step 2. May we have the slide, please? The layout. Oh, yes, there we are. Okay, you're going to lay out your fabric, cut selvages, and straighten your sides. And back to me. When I did the pictures you're going to see, I was lucky enough to be able to get into a classroom to lay my fabric out. You need a firm surface, firm, flat surface, because you want the fleece to lay down. A bed doesn't work so well. A carpeted surface is not recommended. Your kitchen floor, if you can get down on it, your dining room table, if it's big enough. I have a friend who has an amazing island in her kitchen, and I have definite island envy because it would be perfect for laying it out. It's also a nice height for laying it out. I don't know about you, but bending over the table all day is a little hard on my back. Okay, you've got your two fabrics. Decide which one you want to mark on. It's going to be easier to see markings on the plain fabric than it is on the printed one, so I'm going to start with the print. I put it right side, or the brightest side, the colorful side, down. Now the fabric sort of looks alike on both sides. How do you know which is the right side? If you hold them together, you can see that one is more vibrant than the other. Vibrant side down. And you're going to stretch it out. If you want, you can use painter's tape or masking tape to tape it down at the ends to hold it still. And by the way, if you have family at home or other people around, engage them in this process. It's fun, especially if you have kids at home. They can be doing this. Somebody in third, fourth grade for sure or above can do this on their own. But the little kids will love helping. Of course, they'll want you to make one for them, but that's another issue altogether. Once your first fabric is down and there are no wrinkles in it, you're going to put your second fabric right on top. And this, notice I have cut this to size so that it's easy for me to work with. It is not 48 inches by 56. And fabrics, even with the best cutting, they may not be even. You may have a little bit more of one than the other. If they're two different manufacturers, it may be that they aren't as wide. But the important thing is to get your fabric smooth, no wrinkles, nothing underneath, smooth as possible. Any questions about that? Okay, the next part. I am very lucky to have a quilter's ruler. Okay, let's look and see what I mean about that. Back to me, please. Any kind of measuring tool is fine. A measuring tape, a regular ruler, a yardstick. If we have any Canadians here, a meter stick is fine. I'm assuming in Canada you use the metric system. By the way, parents, when you're talking about, oh my gosh, is my kid gonna fall behind in school? The using a ruler, using tools to measure is the state standard for younger primary grades.
Flo, before you go on, we have a question in the chat. It says, are you putting right sides together?
No, the right side of the first one goes against the table or floor. The right side of the second one is face up, because those will, when we tie it together, these are the parts you'll see. So the first one goes face down, the best side face down, and the top one goes face up. That's a good question. I'm glad you brought it up. All right, I'm going to measure a cutting line of 4 or 5 inches. You'll see some videos that say 4, you'll see some videos that say 5. I personally like 5. I find it easier to tie. That's strictly a choice. You want to split the difference and go 4.5, go for it. But frankly, I like using rounded numbers. I'm going to set my ruler 5 inches from the end. Wrong side. Yes, right side. Here we go. Five inches from the end. And the beauty of this kind of ruler is I can draw the line all at once. Now this is a marking pen that I got at a hobby shop. It's for fabrics. The beauty of this is that with time it will disappear, or if I don't like a line I've drawn, I can use water to get rid of it. So it's a good thing to have if you do any kind of fabric work at all. It's a nice idea to have it. Don't write checks with it, however, because as I said, it will disappear at some point. So I'm going to go on all 4 sides and I'm going to measure the 5 inches. I know what I forgot. Can we step back for a second? Go back to layout. I forgot a very important step. When you lay your fabric out, the fabric will have an edge to it called a selvage. Do I have some with selvage still? Yes, here we go. The selvage is the end of the fabric. It's both sides of it, and it's where all the threads come together and it's knotted together. And look, it doesn't have the give that you get elsewhere in your fabric. And by the way, your fabric will pull more side to side than it will top to bottom. That's just normal. So when you do your layout, you're going to take a ruler and you're going to cut off the selvage. It'll probably mean cutting about a 2-inch slice off, and you want to go through both layers of fabric. You will do that on both sides. Can you see there where I have it and I'm cutting off the selvage? With a plain one, the selvage is harder to see. It's just sort of a rounded little lip. Once you've done that, go to the top and bottom and straighten out your sides. That's very important to get the best look in your blanket. All right, so we're back to measuring out. I've got one line there. I've got one line here. I'm going to do it on all 4 sides. And even if you're not a quilter, sewer, these rulers are amazing. All right, now, I'm just going to leave it here for now. You're then going to take your scissors, and do you see where these 2 lines intersect? You are going to cut to where the lines meet on both sides of the corner. Totally cutting off the corner. A nice square piece, hopefully. Okay? Any questions about that? You do that to all 4 corners. All right, now the fun comes. After you have done that and you have cut off your corner, you are going to, you're going to mark your fringe. But before you do that, I have a suggestion that will make your life a whole lot easier. You pin baste. Take a pin, put 3 or 4 down the length of the wide side and 2 or 3 on the ends. Put them on the inside of your drawn line so they're not in the way. Be sure you get them in the corner. I did that with these two. I had laid them out in that classroom I told you about, where I had a double table, and it was great. That one and this one. And these are both 2 yards, so they're big things. And I laid them out, I drew my line, and because I had pin basted them, after I did all my measuring and lining up, I was able to fold these up, take them home, and do the actual fringe tying at home. I didn't have to wait there in the empty classroom all by myself. I was able to take it home. Okay, now how to designate the fringe. This line, as I said, is the fringe line. Let me get this cut too. You'll do it in all 4 corners. You've pinned around. And you are going to start at one edge. Now, you can also, if you want, put a piece of masking tape or other tape right over your cutting line, because that really shows you where to cut. These things are also very forgiving. If you're a half of an inch off, nobody's going to care. It's not going to change the effectiveness of what you do. Okay, here we go. Some people like to mark on the tape. You can mark on the tape, you can mark on the fabric itself. And the easiest way to do it is to lay your ruler out and mark it off. Most of the videos you see will say to make your lines at 1 inch intervals. That's a good way to do it. It can be a little less. You don't want to get it much less because it will really add to the time and the fringe will become fragile. 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 2 fingers, 10 centimeters if you're with metric, or 12 to 13 if you want inch. Another way to do it, here's an emery board. Sorry, I picked a yellow one. Lay it down, and or a kid's craft stick. Lay it down and draw the line. That was not straight. Here we go, let's try that again. Lay it down and draw the line. Drawing the line is a step you don't have to take. You could just mark the inch up here, pick up the bottom and eyeball it. I tried that, it wasn't nearly as successful as when I took the extra few minutes to draw out my inch markings. And just go along. I move this to the inch, and I do that all the way around. Now, when you get to an edge, it'd be wonderful if you had an exact number of inches between the 2 corner spots. Doesn't always work out that way. So as you're getting close, look and see. If it's 2.5 inches, you don't want to make 2 1 inch pieces and have one scrawny little thing on the end. Give a little more for the first, spread them out. Make 3 of them or make 2 of them, but a little wider. You may need to fudge at the corner. That's just the way it is, unless you are the person who wants to sit down and calculate it to the inch. And if so, go for it. You're welcome to it. Okay, any questions about layout and marking? Now I'm showing you the cutting with the scissors. You want a sharp scissors. If you have arthritis like I'm starting to get, there are scissors that are spring-loaded. Fiskars has a couple of different ones, and they make it very easy. Don't skimp on the scissors. You want your sharpest scissors. If you're not a sewer, probably the kitchen scissors is not the one you want to use, and the kids' school scissors, probably not the one you want to use, because you want to go through both layers at the same time. And that part becomes very easy then. I just go along, I hold the bottom, and I sew from the bottom up to my line or up to the tape, whatever I'm using.
Amy
Yeah.
asked, can you use a quilter's wheel?
You can use, yes, a rotary cutter, absolutely, as long as you use it with the mat underneath. Now, I found the mat underneath a little awkward. It kept moving the fabric. So for me, it was easier to just do it with the scissors. But a rotary cutter is a great tool to do it. It'll go faster and it'll definitely save your fingers. Well, save your fingers if you keep them away from that blade. Okay, and you'll do that all the way around. Now I'm going to move to another piece here. There, you've done most of the work. When I was working in the classroom, it took me about a half hour the first time I did the layout. And it took about a half hour to lay them out and measure everything. It took me probably 30 to 40 minutes altogether to get it ready to start tying. The first one's going to take the longest. After that, you're going to gain confidence and it's going to go a lot more quickly. And I cannot find the piece. There it is. No, it isn't. All right. Okay, tying the knots. I'll tie with the colored part and I'll tie on top, and I'll tie with the other part on top. I don't know which is easier for you to see. I made these 6 inches so that you could get a better view of it. Fact. Is that a better view? Can you see it better? You're going to take the first 2 pieces of fringe and you're going to make a square knot. A square knot's probably the most common. You're going to take one, put it over, under, and through. The other one, pull it gently, and then the same thing, over, under, and through. Here it is again. Over, under the bottom one, and through, over, under the bottom one, and through. On the other side, to see it with this side in case it's easier, you be sure you have the 2 together, and over, under, and through, over, under, and through. And this is a very flirty, ruffly kind of knot. It's adorable. It's the one you will see most often on this kind of quilt. But there's another alternative. It's called the balloon knot. The balloon knot's a little different. You know how you take the balloon, you blow it up, you take the end? That's what I'm talking about. You're going to take it, take the 2 pieces of fringe, put your finger underneath, bring it around and through, and pull it. Now, as you can see here, this lays flatter. Here it is. I'm bringing it over, under, and through. Just be sure you go in the same direction each time. As you see, these lay flatter, and it's a more formal, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a more classic look. You can see the two right there. I'm going to come around. And you can see with the red and white that it's very flirty. The fringe goes all over. With the green one, it lies flatter. Now, if you've decided you've pulled it too tight and it's not working so well, give it a little stretch. There it goes. Also, do you see how nice my corners are? One of the dangers of doing these is that if you're not careful about the corners, you end up with a rounded end instead of a rectangle. And I personally like it to look like a rectangle. So that's one of the reasons I generally do use the balloon tie, because I like the way it lays. This is something your kids could, if you have kids at home, let them help. They'll love it. It's a good way to teach them how to tie if they need it. Certainly your bigger kids can. You can sit on the floor watching Disney cartoons, and each of you take an end and start tying, and everybody gets involved.
There's another question. Do you remove the tape before you tie
I
them?
do not. I remove the tape when I'm done and ready to go. You can. There's no reason you can't, but it helps hold the line. Literally helps hold the line. Okay. Now, as I said, starting to get a little arthritis, and it's no fun. My hands, after wrestling with those two others, by the end of the day, I really felt it. And I also started to think, we have a family friend whose child has some neurological challenges. And I was trying to think of a way she could participate. And I found this in one of the online programs. This is not quite a tie, but it gives you a beautiful look. For this one, take your fringe, leave the tape on. The tape really helps with this. Put your finger just above the tape. Can you see that? I'm sorry, just below the tape, between the tape and your fringe. You're going to lift both pieces of fringe over your finger so you'll have a little fold, a little roll there. Let's do 3 or 4 so you can get the effect of it. Take the 2 pieces, put my finger down, roll it over my finger. Take the 2 pieces, roll it over my finger. Now, instead of tying, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to make just a little snip right here in the folded part. Not a big one, but I need to go through both pieces of fabric. And the one finger that you put there will help hold it in place and give you just the right amount. Now look what happens when I open them up. I have created a hole that goes all the way through the 2 pieces of fringe. It's a straight line hole. I'm going to take the bottom of my fringe, bring it up, and push it through. With one hand, I'm going to pull the tail down. With the other hand, I'm going to push the knot up. And as I said, even somebody with neurological challenges, if mom or dad or grandma holds the hole open, they can take it and stuff it in, and look, they're participating. If your hands are difficult and it's hard to do the tying, this is a great alternative. You can still be part of this program. There you go. Any questions about that?
Yes, we have a question. So Amy asked, should you wash before or after you make the blanket?
I would wash after. There's not much shrinkage with fleece. Either one will work. I would do it after. Okay? When you're done tying, then the fun comes, because you take off the tape, you take out the pins, and you congratulate yourself on a job well done. Okay. Now, a couple of other little things that go with it. You can't stop doing these. I went a little nuts before. I was practicing the fringe and I thought, wouldn't this make a lovely scarf for Hanukkah? Same technique, only instead of doing 2 layers, do 1, and you can just tie a little knot on the end. I would cut your fringe a little thinner here, but get the length you want. This is a little short for me, but not for a kid. And it comes in great colors, and it's there. I ordered some darling material, and I had to buy 2-yard minimums. So I bought 4 yards, because I'll do 2 of them. And I only need 3, though. What am I going to do with the extra yard? I'm going to cut it into 2 36-inch pieces. Do exactly the same thing, and either put a pillow form in there to make a pillow, or stuff it with stuffing and some of my leftovers and make a dog bed or a cat bed that I can take to the local Humane Society. Our 6th grade class at religious school did that for Mitzvah Day a couple of years ago, and the Humane Society loved them. If you start with an 18-inch piece and do your 4-inch fringe, that will give you 18-inch piece, 4 and 4 is 8. You have a 10-inch space in the middle, put a pillow in, do 3 sides, stuff it, and then tie the fringe on the 4th side. There's so much you can do with this. And keep some fringe around when the kids are bored. Have them do it. If you've already marked it out for them, there's no reason they can't finish it themselves. Now, if you have any questions, can we go to the next slide, please? Here's some people who've already done it in our district. And you see, we have a younger woman, we have a couple of older women, we have a grandma, and they've all come out with projects that they're very proud of. And if some of you have done some already and you'd love to show us, I'd love to do that at the end. Next slide, please. I don't expect you to remember everything right now, but go online to the Pacific District website. You see the number right there, and Lori's put it into the chat, right, Lori? There are downloadable instructions on how to create these blankets with pictures. You're going to find where it says PD convention. You're going to look for 2020 convention and social action project. Besides that, there's a list of agencies that would love to have your donation. And I personally like Project Linus. I've worked with them before in some of my quilting, and they are a wonderful agency. And some of you up north may want yours to go to a place where they do, where they help people who have been through those terrible fires. Project Linus does that. They take care of not only babies, but toddlers, even adults, but mostly children who need the comfort of something when they're at one of the most terrible days of their life. Now, speaking of that, one more thing. Next slide. Oh, there are also about a bazillion different videos. Just Google no-sew fleece blankets and you'll find numerous videos. And some will tell you 4 inches and some will tell you 5 inches. And again, it doesn't matter. Choose the one that works best for you. Now, this is a new agency I just heard about when researching this, and it's called My Stuff Back Foundations. These people help kids who are being ripped from their homes and for their own protection and being brought into foster care, or a mother has to escape a terrible abusive situation with their kids and they literally run with the clothes on their backs. My Stuff Bags makes bags with a stuffed animal, some books, different things, including a fleece blanket. The one thing they ask you to do, however, is make it one ply. Don't put 2 pieces together, just do it with 1 piece, because they need room in their bag for other things. Here, mine's already laid out. I'm all ready to go, although I've got to even the sides, because when I was marking, I found they weren't as even as I thought they were. Okay, I think I'm done. If you have any questions at all. Oh, here is my email and the email of the 2 women who had the Action and Advocacy Committee, Deb and Karen. They'll be in the chat, but feel free to write them down or take a screenshot. We want to hear from you. If your sisterhood makes them, if you make them, we want to get a number of how effective this project was. We have 57 sisterhoods in Pacific District, ranging from Canada all the way south to the border, and from the Pacific Ocean all the way to El Paso, Texas. So we've got, as I said, 57 sisterhoods, 6,500 women. If every 3rd woman would make 1, imagine the joy we could share and the difference we could make. Okay, that's all I have. One last thing, if you're interested in doing tech for district convention, it would be 1 session, and you could either monitor the helpline the way Lori and Lillian did, or it's advancing slides for the speaker. And it's a great way to get involved. If you've never done anything on the district level, it's a great way to meet people and see the amazing things we have planned. Registration for district convention is open. And all it is this year, it's not hundreds of dollars. You don't have to pay for transportation. You don't have to pay for a hotel. You just have to make a small donation and come join us. There's going to be sessions on leadership. There's going to be Torah study. There's going to be personal development. There are going to be amazing speakers. And Lillian, you're one of the co-chairs. Do you have anything else to add about convention?
I would just say how amazing that it is, and we have some amazing speakers. And so it would be just great if people could be there and join us. I am truly overwhelmed that because we're being virtual, that we get to pull people from around the world to come and be at convention, and it truly will be amazing to see.
I just wanted to say, if you have any questions, Karen Goldberg is actually here today.
Oh, good. Karen? Karen, are there any agencies on the list that you're particularly fond of?
No, we tried to spread them out geographically. I tried to reach out to people in different areas. I will note that if sisterhoods or even individuals have a particular relationship that they already have with an organization, or if there is like say for instance, you mentioned up here in Northern California, we just had all these horrific fires. If there happens to be a place where I feel like I can donate my blankets, you are welcome to donate anywhere. The list is more of sort of a list of suggestions, especially for people who may have, no idea where to start. I agree, Project Linus is amazing, and they actually have drop-off locations just about everywhere, like literally in every state that our Pacific District covers, in all different counties and all different cities. So that's a really great place for people to start, just to, look online and see, is there something close to them? So, it's.
And they'll even, if you've got a bunch collected, they'll even drive out to you to get it if you're a reasonable distance.
Right. No, they're great. And the one thing that you mentioned, and that I will mention again to everyone else, is that we would love to know how many blankets were made and donated. When we're at convention in person, it's so much easier because we collect all of the items, like all of the hats we made last time, and we could say, oh, we donated, 1,000 hats to these different places. This is a little different because we're all just sort of doing it on our own. So we've created an online reporting form for individuals and sisterhoods. It's on the district website. So if people, when you make your donation, please, please, please just fill that out so that at the end of the day, we know what an impact we made with this project.
Okay. Can we see my face for the end? Yes. Anyway, these things become addicting. I found the firefighter fabric that's in the back. It was covering the west-facing window that gave us a little too much blacklight. But my son's a lieutenant with the Austin, Texas Fire Department. So there is one of these in his future. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope I answered your questions. It will be on Yammer. If you need any help, if you want us to come, you want somebody to do a Zoom session with your sisterhood to show how to do it, we can work that out too. Whatever we can do to make it easier for you. If you've already made one, please stand up and let's show us.
Oh,
and
okay.
Everybody put yours on gallery view.
I have to get my stack.
Okay. You can see Denise's in the background. She's got hers laid out. Again, the bed or a carpet's not so wonderful because it doesn't stay firm. Oh, is that adorable?
Legos. Who nice, Karen.
This one's for Lillian.
With the dogs. Lillian has big dogs.
Oh, and then I have, let's see, unicorns.
Wonderful.
Oh, look how beautiful.
And then here's a kind of a rainbow dark dog outlines.
Fantastic.
Oh.
Do you have anything to add to what I've already said? Any tip you can share?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I thought, you gave such detailed instructions. It was really helpful. I mean, I'm a lot more sort of free for all. I kind of just, I kind of eyeball everything. I measure the corners, and then after that, I just sort of eyeball everything.
Yeah.
And I make the balloon knots, and yeah, they're easy and they're fun. You put on some music and you just kind of sit there and do your thing.
Doesn't have to be that particular.
They're a lot of fun. Also, I was also going to say to people, if you're a knitter or a crocheter, we're also accepting like knits
Thank you.
and crocheted items as well. So, if the fleece making thing isn't your thing, we are accepting blankets of all kinds. So I just want to
And
put that out with you.
Thank you for bringing that up. That's what I forgot to say. Project Linus 2 and my stuff bags, they take any kind of blankets, knitted, crocheted, quilted. It just has to be new materials, and it has to be fully washable. Those are the only two requirements. Anybody else have something they want to share? Either the blanket or a tip that you've learned? Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I hope if you haven't signed up for convention yet, you're going to go right to your computer and do that right now. And I look forward to seeing all of you in October.
Thank you,
Thanks
Flo.
so
You're
much.
amazing.
Thank you, Flo.